Let's begin now with our candidate forum, and we're going to go alphabetically since Mayor Dupree is not here. We will begin with Democratic candidate for mayor, Thomas Garber. Mr. Garber.
Thank you, Happy. My name is Tom Garber. I'm running for mayor. I started a news site about a year ago. We started investigating our government to hold them accountable, provide transparency to our citizens, which we weren't having. We've had a number of executive sessions and things that have been done behind closed doors that we feel need to be more transparent, more open. And we feel that, and I feel that knowledge and what's happening in our government is extremely important to a democracy to know who to vote for and what they stand for. Sorry the mayor's not here. I think this should be important for any candidate to show up here and talk to citizens and let them know what they have planned for the next 4 years. I want to have a program implemented called Operation Facelift. And what Operation Facelift does is it empowers neighborhood associations with the city and partners with them to fix up properties in town that are dilapidated or abandoned. And we can utilize our existing court system to address this problem. Every neighborhood should have a neighborhood association. And the city needs to assist those who don't have the resources to put one together. And what we can do with neighborhoods is help them to identify properties that are abandoned, rental properties that are not up to code, that are hurting property values. And we can partner with volunteers in these neighborhood associations, and they can help the city to address this problem, painting properties, planning, landscaping. And through their volunteerism and the city's grant funding, we can fix up 250 houses here in Hattiesburg in the first 4 years of my administration. That's exactly what I want to do. And I want to really strengthen the Council of Neighborhoods and these neighborhood associations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garber. Our next candidate to speak is Nathan Jordan, running for mayor as an independent. Mr. Jordan.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and special thanks to the committee and all who put this program together tonight. Thank you for inviting me. To the general public, my name is Nathan Jordan, and I have a sincere desire to serve the people of Hattiesburg as the next mayor. Through strong prayers, strong consideration, I now have prepared myself to step forward to serve in the office of the mayor. I have a 7-point plan in which I will implement if I'm elected mayor. First of all, I will be a mayor for all of the people of the city of Hattiesburg. It's time for a change. It's time that the people take city government and have a part in everything that takes place. I have the given ability to get things done, administratively and working with the people as a whole. First thing I would like to do is to restore unity in our community. Our community is divided. I feel like I have the God-given ability and know-how in order to bring this community together. Through the workforce, through education, and all other opportunities that we have, I will provide priorities to our fire department, our police department, first responders, and all of the city workers. They're underpaid and overworked. We have the poorest plan of insurance and other protection. We can do better than what we're doing. And I'm here, and I'm ready to provide the services that we may move our city forward. Not in just of the area of physical things, but in technical knowledge as well. I'm prepared to step forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Our next candidate for mayor, running as an independent, is Sean O'Hara. Mr. O'Hara.
My name is Sean O'Hara. We need to fix the roads. We need to get rid of the bad odor from downtown Hattiesburg. We need to create several new jobs. We need to install free public Wi-Fi internet. We need to protect the right to buy, sell, and trade guns, rifles, and bullets. How do we create new jobs? I want to recruit and train at 70 locations from Hattiesburg throughout Mississippi, 560,000 nursing students. If we don't do it, in 7 years in this country, we will be 560,000 short on our nurses. I want to go ahead and bring 1,000 new retired families every year to Hattiesburg who spend $25,000 per family. Once that money filters through the economy and multiplies, it could be as much as $125 million a year in new money. Look at downtown Hattiesburg. We don't need to build a new police station. We need to buy the Hattiesburg American building and put our police department in that building. During the governor's race, I voted 3 times for Dr. Johnny Dupree. I'm not on the ballot in the May 7th primary. I intend to vote for Dr. Johnny Dupree on May 7th. I have a lot of outstanding issues. I can show this city how to bring new companies here. From Beretta, weapon manufacturing company in Connecticut, 300 outstanding paying jobs. I can show this city how to bring coal from New York City. I can show this city how to set up places that we will manufacture bullets. There's a shortage in this country. We in Mississippi, we in Hattiesburg can show the nation that we will help this country. I'm asking that you elect Sean O'Hara on June 4th, Mayor of Hattiesburg. Thank you, and my prayer for you is God tremendously blesses your life far greater than you could ever imagine.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hara. Our next candidate for mayor running as a Democrat is Catherine Starr. Ms. Starr.
Hello, Hattiesburg. I am Catherine Starr. I am running for mayor of Hattiesburg on the Democratic ticket. First, I want to thank Mr. A.C. Johnson, President of the Forest County Democratic Executive Committee, and Mrs. Linda Walters, President of the Hattiesburg Council of Neighborhoods, and Ms. Peggy Norton for holding this forum. My father was a Hattiesburg police officer during World War II, right here in Hattiesburg in 1942 and 45. My grandfather worked with the Taters. He ran a sawmill and he cut the tip of his thumb and point finger off. He later ran a full-service station right here where the Veterans Memorial Park is located. My mother had 3 brothers who fought in World War II. One of them was in the Navy aboard the USS Missouri when General MacArthur came aboard to sign the declaration that ended World War II. My mother had 2 brothers who ran the self-service grocery store on East Hardy Street, known as River Avenue. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. One of my brothers has been a postman for over 50 years right here in Hattiesburg. The other brother was a supervisor instructor who worked for English Shipbuilding in Pascagoula. Before his retirement, his last task was to repair the USS Cole that had been bombed in Yemen. He was also a taxidermy and a big deer hunter. My father had a half-brother who was a prisoner in the Korean War. My children graduated from Hattiesburg High School. My daughter played in band and played solos on the football field at halftime. I was born in the old infirmary on Walnut Street, right here in Hattiesburg. I'm the only candidate born in Hattiesburg. I attended Central Elementary School and Forest County Agriculture High School. My husband was a Vietnam veteran. My family has had a deep history in Hattiesburg, Forest County. My platform has changed. If you want change, then I want your vote. I'm aware we have a city council, form of government, and I want to work with the council. We will have lots of issues to deal with. I believe I have a different approach to these issues than our current mayor.
Ms. Starr, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine Starr. Our next candidate for mayor running as an independent, Clyde Stewart.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Clyde Stewart, and my platform consists of accountability and responsibility. How do we do that? We increase the bond rating, which allows you to reduce debt in an effective way and get the government in Hattiesburg on a responsible level of allowing the debt to be reduced and the accountability to be increased to the point where transparency is at the highest level of accountability. And what I think what would happen as a result of getting the bond level up to a AAA would be that we would be able to bring in better paying jobs and get the unemployment rate in Hattiesburg is 11% right now. When 12 years ago it was at 6%. Obviously something's got to change around here in order to get the crime rates down and get these people to work. 50% of Hattiesburg is African American, and the other 50% is roughly European white American. We have got to work together and get this place on the same, working together and working, getting things rolling around here in order to get the community together and build the strength built up around here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. And our final candidate for mayor, running as an independent, Dave Ware. Mr. Ware.
Thank you, Randy. And thank you to the Council of Neighborhoods for hosting this and for each and every one of you for coming out tonight. As we sit here tonight, there are a lot of good things going on in Hattiesburg. We have great healthcare opportunities here in our community. We're indeed a healthcare hub of South Mississippi right here in Hattiesburg. We have educational opportunities here in Hattiesburg with 2 excellent universities and a wonderful community college, so individuals can better themselves through education. We have one of the key components of our nation's defense located right here in Hattiesburg, just down the road from Camp Shelby. What's missing? What's missing is a vision that ties all of that together. It ties it together and takes advantage of the natural opportunities that exist with those 3 large industries. That vision is responsibility of executive leadership. Executive leadership has for far too long been absent here in Hattiesburg. I have that vision. I have the ability to lead this community forward and help it reach its potential. Through being on the City Council, I think I'm uniquely qualified to be the next mayor of Hattiesburg. I've worked hand in hand with these guys on the council and know indeed the challenges that this city is faced with these days. We brought forward some really good innovative ideas here in Hattiesburg. We looked around at how we were collecting our sanitation and found it was not very safe, so we brought about automated sanitation. We looked at how we were building people for water and found that we were not being very accountable with that, so we brought about automated metering. Those kinds of innovative ideas are what this community needs to help it move forward, to help it reach its potential. I have the ability to help us do that, and I'm asking for your support. Because you see, Hattiesburg indeed is the best city in this state. What we want to do is be the premier city in any state. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ware. And we've heard from our candidates for mayor. I'm sure we'll be hearing more of them a little bit later on in our question and answer. And this is for anyone and all. We'll start with Mr. Garland. Have you made a decision about the waste treatment system, whatever it is? What were the determining factors for you? And we're going to give each one of our candidates a minute and a half to respond to this issue, pretty important issue for everybody in Hattiesburg. The waste treatment system is gone.
This is extremely important. I've been investigating this and performing due diligence, probably more so than a lot of people in our own government. We're getting ready to choose between land application method, which involves leasing 10 to 20,000 acres, or a small footprint of a mechanical facility, which is modern, predictable, mathematical, can be easily be built. This thing is a sham, if you want to know what I think. I think the books are cooked. I think that the costs for the mechanical facility are overpriced by a good $32, $35 million. I think that the Shears down in Shaw's here and the Waits, they were our gatekeepers. They're an engineering firm here in town. They were supposed to protect us when USA East came in and destroyed our lagoon system. I wouldn't hire anybody that was involved in that decision for any wastewater treatment in the future. Why are we hiring them now? Why are they advising us in the next 30 years of our city's future in wastewater treatment when they let us down before? Think about that. Ask yourself why. They're not experts at wastewater treatment. I have spoken with the experts. The experts tell me that this cost on mechanical treatment is overpriced by $30 million, and that the land application on the table is a best-case scenario of about 10,000 acres to disperse the waste. Now, with land application, we keep our current lagoon system. We pre-treat it, we pump it out, we irrigate it. If we need more land, we've got to lease more land. There's a lot of unknowns in land application, but there are people making a lot of money on the backs of taxpayers. Money is influencing this decision, in my opinion.
All right, Mr. Garland, time is up. Sorry, we ran over, so we're going to the rest of the candidates. Nathan Jordan is next.
Thank you. It is embarrassing to have to discuss this subject. Very embarrassing. The city administration for the past 12 years, all of a sudden they want to come up with a plan. It's sad. It's pitiful. We must continue to seek new ways to better prepare ourselves for our sewer and water treatment. The citizen pays enough tax money that we don't deserve, that we cannot come in our own yards and enjoy a pleasant afternoon or morning. It is an odor, but since it's election year, we come up with all these plans as to what we should do. It's embarrassing that we wait till the last minute to want to introduce this. It's my understanding that the city is also under litigation because we have failed to meet the demands and requirements of getting rid of this odor that we have. If I'm elected mayor from day one, I'm prepared to do the necessary things of calling the people in. We ourselves are not experts in this area, but we should have common sense to contact the people who have the ability and the knowledge in order to assist us to get this done. It makes no sense, and it's embarrassing to the citizens of Hattiesburg that we have not come up with a plan until such time now we want to do something this election year. I will not let that happen. That's my promise.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Mr. O'Hara?
I will bring in a licensed civil and structural engineer by the name of Robert W. Clonch, who has patented his third patent in reference to sewage. I will also make available to our present city council, Mr. Clonch, and I will make available to our new city council, Mr. Clonch, who will help save the city of Hattiesburg millions of dollars. In 1969, when he worked for Chrysler, he was commissioned by NASA. They also worked with the Air Force, cruise ships, and other places to treat unnecessary sewage problems. Robert W. Clonch, licensed civil and structural engineer in Mississippi as well as in several other states. He's the answer to the problem.
Thank you. Ms. Starr?
Thank you. One of my issues has been pure drinking water. And I want to ask for a federal grant to deal with this issue and appoint someone to deal with this issue, someone preferably an engineer of some sort who can deal with this issue and present to me and the council recommendations what to do about this issue. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart?
It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing when you have company coming in from out of town and you have to explain what that smell is. I've been researching and proposing for the last year to the city engineer system that they're using in Switzerland. They've been using it since the early 90s where they spin out the solids. And it's a very economical way of doing it. The technology's been around for about 5,000 years. The Egyptians used it. It's a very cost-effective way to do it. It's a very quick way to do it, as opposed to land application and a mechanical system dealing with large amounts of concrete, for example. That's the direction I would go with this, because it's the quickest way to remedy the problem, and it's the most effective way to deal with it. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart? Mr. Ware?
I think it's important for us to give a little point of reference here, to talk about the history of how we got where we are and having to make this decision. December 2001, we invited a company and signed a contract with a company to come into our community. And in that contract, we allowed them to send us unlimited amounts of toxic waste. That has killed our lagoon system. When we make this next decision, we need to make sure that those individuals who are making the decision are going to make sure that with whomever we sign a contract, or with whichever method we go forward, we're using sound business practices, like limiting the amount of waste that someone can send us, or what that might contain. We know two things for sure. One is Every morning we wake up and we have to smell our sewage lagoon. 2, we continue to pollute our rivers. We have options on the table right now of how we move forward, but either of those options have to make sure that we address those 2 concerns, that we stop polluting the river and we get rid of the smell. Now, we're going to have more public hearings and we ask for your input as we look at that, but I can guarantee you this, as we move forward, we're going to make sound business decisions, ones that are fiscally responsible. But we're also going to rely upon someone the council has brought in, who is an expert in wastewater treatment, our Clearwater Consultants out of Stockton, Mississippi, Mr. Kerry Harden, who is on board with us, independent engineer hired by the council to look at any and all options on the table and make sure that as we move forward, we're moving forward with educated and sustainable solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. What is your plan to engage citizens in sincere dialogue as opposed to a twice-a-month public forum with no elected official accountability?
I think I'm probably more uniquely qualified to answer this question than any other mayoral candidate. And the reason is quite simple, because I've been a member of the people's branch of government. The city council, the legislative branch of government, is the people's branch. We're the ones that reach out there and touch the individuals daily. And so I believe what we can do is build on some of the things that we're doing now. I heard talk about what are we doing, or University of Southern Mississippi. Just recently, we moved the city council meeting from chambers to campus. We held a meeting on campus to discuss issues with USM, what was going on post-tornado. So I think that's one of the things we could do. We continue to have town hall meetings like we've had in the past when there were hot button issues in our community. So we do bring that out to you. As the mayor, I would have a town hall meeting in the first 5 months in each of the 5 wards to hear from each and every community so that we can hear what your concerns are. We take our show on the road and let you bring your message right there to us. I think we can continue on building. I hear about the website. We build on things that we're doing now. Outside of our city website, the city council has adopted and has implemented Legistar. It's an online agenda-setting forum that we have that allows you to have access to city government at your fingertips anywhere in the world. We've just added to that with Speak Up Hattiesburg, where you can actually not have to come to give your message at city council, but you can do that online now. As the mayor, I implement those kind of innovative ideas that allow you to reach out there and touch your city government, give the government back to the people.
Mr. Stewart?
SunshineReview.org is an independent, internet-based website that reviews the transparency of government, and we have an F. As the speaker has mentioned, you cannot navigate the website. Even if you put something on the website, you still probably couldn't find it. So what we need is a website that is easily to navigate, and we have webcasts of the council meetings. We have more council meetings when things of concern come up and get more input. I've had comments deleted off of Facebook, off the city's Facebook account for concerns that I've had during the tornado. There's some transparency in that. So what we need is something that is easy to navigate, where people can communicate with the administration effectively, and the administration listens and takes note and has action put into place to remedy those problems. Thank you.
Ms. Starr?
Thank you. I have suggested having a radio program with the mayor and the city council present, so the citizens of Hattiesburg could call in their grievances, and the council would be there to answer, and they could ask which council member they wanted to answer their questions. I believe the radio station would be broadcast and everyone could hear, and it would be to me, it would be the only way to go, where the government would be for everybody, because everybody don't have a computer, everybody's not on the internet, everybody don't have websites, and the radio station, most everybody has a radio, and they can listen on the radio as to what the city council is doing. And to me, that is the only way to go. Thank you.
Sister O'Hara?
During the past 3 years, I've been able to walk 936 miles throughout the city of Hattiesburg. I've had hundreds of political discussions. For example, build a police substation in Palmer's Crossing. Recruit 1,000 new jobs from the Port of Gulfport to locate high-paying storage jobs in Palmer's Crossing. Build a Dollar Tree on East Hardy Street. Have a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday ongoing flea market on East Hardy Street. Fire the city court judge who's earning $105,000 a year, and as mayor, I will fire him because I can hire 2 million people in Mississippi for $50,000 a year to do the same job. Other discussions: close down the corrupt city court. Close it down. Consolidate any city problems with the justice court system before 4 very good justice court judges. I've had hundreds of discussions. Recently, I've even had some gangbangers that every time I walk past their place, they want to talk about politics now. So I take the time to talk to them. Your mayor needs to be accessible to the people in this city. I'll continue to walk, not that many miles per year. I'm going to try to limit myself after this year to only 240 miles a year. But guess what? If we all get out and we talk to people that live in our neighborhood or throughout our community, we're going to come up with a lot of ideas to help the city of Hattiesburg.
Mr. Jordan?
Mr. Moderator, to get things back in order, point of order, could you restate the question?
Sure. Thank you. What is your plan to engage citizens in sincere dialogue as opposed to a twice-a-month public forum with no elected official accountability?
Very good question. I have a 7-point platform, and that is point number 1 that I have on citizen participation. This is the time for all of the people of the city of Hattiesburg to be united, engaged, and involved. This is the time for our citizens to share equally and to be available to all resources and all opportunities. It's time for the people, regardless of their race, ethnic background, or their social income condition. It's time to engage the people. The biggest problem has been we have secret meetings. Councilman Naylor had talked about bringing open meetings, and we want to do secret things. Nobody should do that, but if the city leaders, such as the city mayor, will allow things like this to happen, not to rally the council members to get together and hear their concerns in each ward and hit the streets and talk to people face to face and hear their concerns. This will be my policy. That is the number one thing that I have on my 7-point plan. And I think it's time to restore City Hall back to the people, give it back to the people so that we can give to them an equal input. And the things that we do, it will be done because it's things that the people want. And then that way, we can move the city forward. Thank you.
Ms. Garber?
I recognize that being mayor, you are a public servant first, and you are a leader second. You have to listen to the people. We need to have cameras in our city council room. We need to have town hall meetings. As mayor, I will blog and report where I'm going, what I'm doing, who I've met, what they've said, and build a relationship with people. This is important. But the most important decision that our city is getting ready to make in our generation, and probably our children's generation, is a $180 million decision on how we're going to treat our wastewater for the next 30 to 50 years. Folks, wake up. This mechanical treatment facility, this price on paper, is priced very high to make it cost competitive with a land application scenario. The land application is a best case scenario. We're going to get into a lot of land, a lot more that's on paper if we go this route. It's going to cost us a fortune. 38% of people in this town live below poverty. We can't blow $30 or $40 million. I've talked to the top engineers in this state, and what our council is looking at is a desktop analysis of mechanical treatment facility with fixed percentages. It's a joke. And it's done by the same firm that let us down when USA East came to town. and they let them come in and destroy our lagoon system. Why are we using the same company? Ask yourself this question. Mr. Carroll says that EPA says that we're not going to dump in the river. He's trying to scare everybody to death. Baloney. That's just malarkey, Mr. Carroll. I've spoken with these top engineers. They say if the EPA were to tell us we can't dump in the Leaf River, we might as well roll up the sidewalks in Mississippi. A mechanical treatment facility to produce clean drinking water, it would be the most green alternative available. And this could be upgraded over time as we need it and as our capacity demands it. And if a big company comes here, we need to treat a lot of their wastewater. We don't need to go out and find limited land. We can continue to expand our mechanical treatment facility to accommodate whatever growth we have. We're not beholden to landowners for our future.
Thank you, Mr. Garland. I want to try to give our candidates at least 2 minutes in a closing statement because we have so many hot topics. I'm going to start with Mr. Garland. This will be our final question, then we'll open it for the final 2-minute closing statement. I've got several cards up here, and this one seems to really stand out. Several people wanted to know, what do you plan to do to address Hattiesburg's public safety concerns? Mr. Garland, I'll start with you.
Well, we do have a public safety issue right now. Our murder rate's going up. And I've been told that our murder rate per capita is among the highest in the nation. The reason for this is that we have had a very corrupt municipal court system. We have our own mayor being investigated by the FBI. He may be indicted when he's elected. If he's elected, if he's not, he may still be indicted. People in this court are being questioned by the FBI. Our mayor was questioned at the police station late one night by the FBI. I've been told his house has been, they've gone to the house, they've taken computers and files. We have gangs that are getting off of charges because clerks were shredding warrants. So we're putting gang leaders right back on the streets, all for a few dollars or an EBT card bribe. So we need to ensure that our court system operates fairly and that it holds people accountable. My platform is open government, accountability to our citizens, and equality of services for everyone. We have people in this town drinking brown drinking water. And we have candidates here that want to build police stations that cost $15 million. Mr. Ware wants to double the fines or increase fines that the city of Hattiesburg to pay for. 38% of the people in this town live below poverty. We have to think of these people. We cannot put a cost burden on the poorest of our citizens paying fines, getting caught up in the legal system.
Thank you, Mr. Garland. Mr. Jordan?
Thank you. In my 7-point plan, safety is also included. In fact, it seems like somebody's been reading it because that's number 2. First of all, the mayor should be supportive of our first responders and all of the city workers and all of the people of the city of Hattiesburg for their safety. It disturbs us that when City Hall has been broken into, taking Social Security numbers of our employees, that's a safety brief right there. It has went quiet, nothing has been done about it. If I'm elected to serve as your mayor, I promise you, I will support the police and I will support the fire department, the first responder, and I will take care of all the workers and the city to make sure that everyone, not only the paperwork is safe, but that you are safe as a whole. We have a good, fine fire department, a good, fine police department, but they do not get the support that is needed from the mayor's office. First responder, I've been all over the world, retired Air Force, and this is the only city I ever lived in where the mayor does not support first responder. It's a shame. And it means that our safety has been dropped when it happened. I promise you that I will do my very best at all times to have safety first, because without being safe, we can do nothing else. Safety is a priority. I know about the area of safety. I worked in that area of intelligence during my career and in administration. I have the ability. I'm the man for the job. I can get it done.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Mr. O'Hara?
Safety. Let's make our schools safe. How? Let teachers carry firearms let janitors, let other school employees, because why disarm those in the school system when some lunatic can go in and shoot little kids? I told you, we need to buy the Hattiesburg American building and relocate our police department to that location on Main Street. That is a great centralized location that will not cost us that money. Why in the world should we let millions upon millions of dollars be paid to build a new police department? Third, I want you to realize we have way too many police officers in Hattiesburg who are standing around in convenience stores, flirting with cashiers that have been married 2 or 3 times, drinking soda and coffee and sugar and eating donuts and so forth. And Sean O'Hara will stop that nonsense. One of my 5 college degrees is in police work, and I know what good police work is, and I know what bad police work is all about. We don't need 140 officers. We should have 1 police officer for every 500 people. We should have no more than 92 police officers in Hattiesburg. I want you to know I'm on your side. I want you to have the best of everything in Hattiesburg, but I promise you, I will squeeze Abraham Lincoln off every penny I can to get you the best deal for every buck that's spent.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hara. Ms. Starr?
Thank you. If elected, I will appoint a female chief of police. And I will appoint a new city attorney. I would order them to clean up the court system. That's where it would have to start. Thank you.
Spending $15 million on the new police department that we don't have, going to do nothing but encourage more crime. By ticketing people that don't have money to pay the fines to begin with, all that's going to do is lead to them going and doing the same thing that they just got arrested to do, which is commit more crime. So you get these people jobs, and they don't have time to commit the crimes because they have a paycheck, they have a pension, and they're doing exactly what they should be doing to contribute to the community instead of taking away from the community. I will not build another $15 million police station before I enhance the community through community centers and getting jobs in town and reducing the unemployment rate. Thank you.
Mr. Ware?
I will build a new public safety facility. I'm unapologetic, and I will do it. It will happen. Now, I appreciate everyone's interest in their discussions on this. One thing that's important to note is that over the past 3 years, we've seen our fines and forfeitures go from over $1 million to less than half of that just last year. Now, $15 million over 30 years and $500,000, I think we can probably find the money to pay the interest on that. And we can start committing to the women and the men in the Hattiesburg Police Department the same level of dedication that we expect them each and every day. They should no longer have to go to an old hospital or to a newspaper plant to show up to do their work. We need to make the environment safe for them. If we're not committed to those individuals who we ask to put their lives on the line each and every day, then what is this community's priorities? So I'm unapologetic about it. I want to make sure everybody understands. I will absolutely build a 15 or 20, whatever it takes, $1 million public safety facility to take care of the men and women here in the city of Hattiesburg.
I'm going to give our candidates an opportunity for a 2-minute closing, and I will be real strict on the 2 minutes. I will give you, I'll say 15, you have 15 seconds left. So we give each candidate a 2-minute closing statement, and we'll start with Mr. Garvin for mayor.
I'd like to say that we're going to have a town hall meeting immediately following this. We're going to come down to Bianchi's and have pizza, ask any questions, and talk about some in more details of the things that are important to the city. I also like to say that I think our police chief, Bolton, is doing an excellent job. I think that I know his authority is being undermined by the administration. We need to give him authority to run his police department as a chief and let him do his job. And I feel confident that things will get even better when that happens. I am for performance-based pay for our city workers. I know that everybody drives around and you'll see one guy with a shovel and the other 3 or 4 people kind of watching him. And I think that what we need to do is we need to encourage department heads through performance-based pay. That's how you get productivity. When you treat everybody equally as far as pay goes, the people who do all the work, it lowers their morale. And we have a culture problem in our government. We need to reward excellence with raises. And if you don't do the work, if you're coming in late, calling in sick, you don't get to keep your job. It's that simple. This is not a job security program. This is our city government. We want the most out of our government. We want people to work hard. We want people to have a shot at the American dream, at upward mobility. We have to reward the people that are doing the work. And the way to do that is through performance-based pay.
15.
The most important thing to me, from a fundamental level, is to have an open government. These executive sessions that our city council are calling is downright abusive. And someone told me, I'm not going to call him out here today, but
Thank you, Mr. Norman. Thank you, sir. Mr. Jordan, you have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Again, thanks to this committee who put this on tonight, and thanks to all of you, the people who came out tonight. My 7-point plan dealing with citizen participation. The second one, safety, first responder, city workers, jobs, the third, education, infrastructure, environment, and of course, integrity. I am the right man for the job for the city. As mayor, we can show you and proven records appointed to special government programs by former Governor William Winter, commissioned by President Ronald Reagan, and on and on and on. But I'm the right man for the job. I want to return City Hall back to the people. I'll work hard for you, and the only promise that I will make to you is that I will be open to you, and I will engage and hear your concerns. And the promise will be I'll work hard every day to do the best, and I'll be honest and open at all times. Please, on June the 4th, elect me the next mayor of the city of Hattiesburg. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Mr. O'Hara, 2 minutes.
Sean O'Hara needs your support. Why? Fix the roads. Get rid of the bad odor in downtown Hattiesburg. Create several new jobs. Provide free public Wi-Fi internet and protect the right to buy, sell, and trade guns, rifles, and bullets. Sean O'Hara needs your vote. Why? Because I will make sure our Hattiesburg Fire Department stops running those big engines up and down the roads to go to Walmart and to get 1 or 2 movies. That's wrong. That's a waste of fuel. I know the chief. The chief and I went to college together in Florida. We went to church together in Florida. We went to college together in Hattiesburg, church together in Hattiesburg. I like the chief, but we are wasting fuel. I'll make sure that in Hattiesburg, all the people that have been railroaded through our city court system, that they're pardoned. It's my understanding there's over 5,000 arrest warrants out in Hattiesburg for people for nickel and dime things. Neighboring city in Petal a couple years ago for 4,200. Up in Laurel, $15.5 million in fines. Our city council has misused our police department to shake down the people. That's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I will see to it that they're pardoned and their records are cleaned up and these outstanding fines are thrown out because the city court has been misused to rip off good people in the city of Hattiesburg. I'm asking for the chance. It's up to you. If you believe that I'm telling you the truth, vote for me. If you think I'm lying to you, then tell everybody in town I'm the biggest liar in Mississippi. Thank you for listening to me. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hara. Ms. Starr, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Mayor DeFree has taken the black community votes for granted. He knows he will get their votes no matter what. He has ignored the east side of Hattiesburg. I want to work with USM. USM is a lifeline to this city. Without USM, this city would be bare. This city would not be what it is without USM. They need our support. I don't want to forget about Camp Shelby. We welcome them and all our veterans. I want your vote on May the 7th for change. I want to thank you, Randy Swan. I remember your father, Jimmy Swan, who ran the radio station I used to listen to. I got frost on my road. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stewart, you have 2 minutes, sir.
What we need to realize about the police department is that on the 3rd floor of the police department, windows are broken out and the roof leaks. So that's the reason why they've got mold in their air conditioner systems, and everybody's complaining about water on the floors and on the ceilings throughout the police department. That's why it's a health issue. I toured it about a month and a half ago and realized this, and realized that the current administration is neglecting the health of the police department. And if you want to build a new police department, you do it responsibly. You get the bond rating up. What the bond rating is essentially a municipality's credit score. If you borrow money, you want the lowest credit interest rate possible. So when you do something, you're not wasting money on interest. You choose the right time, get to build a police department whenever you have the financials of the city in the right position to do so. The best place for a police department, after you get the financials in good shape, would be close to where Cracker Barrel is. That way, police officers have access to all major highways and all parts of the city very quickly. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank the moderator. I'll be sticking around to answer any questions if you have any. I'll turn the microphone over to thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Mr. Ware, 2 minutes, please, sir.
You're here tonight because you care about the future of this city. We're all here because we have the same concern. We want to see Hattiesburg reach its potential. To get there, the city needs to return to a customer service-based organization. The city needs to know that each and every one of its employees, its largest assets, are customer service representatives. We need to make sure that, number one, they have the tools they need to do their job effectively. In return for that, we need to go ahead and set goals for each and every division in this city. And then we need to implement a tool that measures our successes to see if we're progressing or not. And then adjust our plan, retool those employees to make sure that your interaction with the city is a positive. Customer service means that you should be able to pay your water bill online. It means that if you want a building permit, you should be able to do that online and not sit down at the first floor of City Hall or your contractor sit there waiting on that to occur. Those innovative ideas are what we need to bring here. We need to look at our infrastructure and realize it's time to stop patching and start replacing. We have a system right now that is not progressing our city. Our streets are failing because what's under our streets are failing. The city council has budgeted millions of dollars to repay the streets. But until we address the underlying issue, that's not going to patch. The patch is not going to, they're not going to take, and they're not going to be there in the future. So we need to fix that. And then thirdly, we need to look at our neighborhoods and find those areas where property owners are not being held accountable. We do have an environmental court, and I think that we're on the right path there. But I think we can borrow great ideas from people like Warren County, Mississippi, where they're going in and making those individuals either repair their properties or through a due process, going in and tear those structures down. We can then turn around to those individuals and say, neighbors, if you'd like to buy this property, we're going to be selling this property at public auction right here on site so we can improve our communities and reduce the blight. DaveWare.com is our website, and I'm asking each and every one of you personally for your vote on June the 4th. Thank you.
Let's give our candidates a big round of applause. We also want to thank the League, the Hattiesburg Council of Neighborhoods for sponsoring this candidate forum. Very good information passed out tonight, and I'm sure the candidates will be up here to shake hands and to talk to you if you have other questions. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming, and be sure to vote. Good night.
I want to give our moderator a hand.